Hi there, this is Lou Lewis here. Welcome to those of you who've not been in Bottled Up very long. Welcome to our videos. They're called Heart to Heart. It's often me and John. It's just me today, and I'll explain why. You'll soon find out it's not scripted, but that's really deliberate on our part, because one of the things, we could have just created a program. We're both therapists. My husband was a trainer in drink and drug. He trained a lot of the health professionals in Scotland in his job before he came down here. And we could have done a program and just kind of put it out there online, and I believe it would have been helpful. But actually this program really is about not just information, but about a community, and we turn up as us. And that's why we don't script. We don't want to be anything other than we are, because we are people going through a story and a journey that is really, really tough, and many different people in all sorts of walks in life, from people that are staying home looking after their children, the most amazing and really highly valuable job, to those that go out into the marketplace and work, and everything in between. And so there's so many people in this community, and we want to come as people, and I'm turning up by myself today in response to some of the things that have gone on in the forum. There's been a very interesting thread, can this program help? And just listening to people's stories always makes my heart ache. And I'm turning up as one, first of all, who says, I understand what you're going through, because I have been there. I've been through it. I was in a marriage for 29 years. Took me a long time. I'm a therapist, and even though I'm a therapist, it took a long time to figure out ways of making the situation different. And it was different, very different actually, towards the end. So I just want to turn up first of all and just say, I know how you feel, and your pain matters to us. We are here because your pain matters, your journey matters, the desperation, the bewilderment, the agony, the loneliness that's been talked about even recently on the forum really matters to us. You matter, and we are here, and we've done this, and we will continue to turn up as people, because your situation matters. No matter how alone you feel right now, you matter. We are mindful of you, and we want to constantly input things that help you. Now, one of the resources that is right under your nose, which I noticed wasn't spoken about much in this thread recently, is Bottled Up for Drinkers. And so one of the reasons that John isn't here is there is a website which is very helpful to people going through drink issues, problem drinkers themselves. It's been carefully put together to make the lowest threshold possible. My husband never went to AA because he just couldn't ever imagine himself going there and saying, hello, my name's Stephen, I'm an alcoholic. He could not put that label on himself, and he couldn't handle the thought that if he went to a meeting to get help, he'd have to stop drinking completely. Now, I'm not saying anything about AA. My husband got sober through AA, and he led AA groups for years. It's a wonderful program. It's helped lots and lots of people. But my husband was an example of that threshold that he just couldn't go through. So we've made this website as low threshold as possible. And what John is going to do is, because reading between the lines, many of you have these moments where you talk to your partner and you get a bit of a hearing, and John is going to do, I don't quite know whether it's one or a couple of videos, but he's going to address that problem today, so that you could say, would you just listen to this video? If you love me, because you love me and my children, will you just listen to this video? To try and get that moment when there might be dialogue. Now, we do have an intervention. That would really help too, but you need a certain amount of cooperation, because you both do it together. This is just you saying to your partner, be it female or male, sometimes I say him because that was my story, but it could quite easily be her, just to say, would you just listen to this? And John is going to think about that and try and connect at that moment and try and get them across to bottled up drinkers, which is just a click away. So that's why I'm here partly. I'm here just because I wanted to turn up in my heart, because I read the forum and I know the ones that do come out and speak are just speaking for, we have now, I think, 1,118 people going through this program at the moment on the both sites. Some people are talking, some people aren't. I hope you listen to this video, because whoever you are, welcome. We're so glad you're here, and we would do our best to help you in this journey. Now, I'm going to give you 3 different images about the program that will help you understand for you what this might be about and why the program will help you. Now, the first image is just a very, very simple one, and what we try to do is we try at the beginning to give you an inner strength and to bring back some of the energy that is always focused on getting your drinker to stop, because then you think everything else will stop. And so that image of inner strength, and actually just saying you need to bring back some of that energy for yourself, because your inner strength needs to grow. Now, we have lots of parcels come into our house, and if someone came in with their 5-year-old child and trying to pick up the parcel, one of these parcels, they might find it really difficult. But if we come in and we are much older, we can take up that parcel and we can bring it straight into the table with great ease. Now, the parcel has not changed in any way. The weight of the parcel remains exactly the same. But the child, who's an image at that point, a model of a low inner strength and a low energy for yourself. And the second, which is us, is an example of someone who's grown in inner strength and is able to handle that weight more easily. And that's why we start with you, because we understand until your drinker changes, who's the parcel, the weight of that will remain the same. But your ability, your strength to handle that can really, really change. And that's why we start with you, because if you are stronger inside, then you will be able to handle the weight of your partner's problem drinking, or your child's problem drinking, or your mum and dad's problem drinking. You will able to handle that weight in a much more equipped way. So that's the first thing, is the reason why we look at you and get some of that energy back for you and teach you to build up your own inner strength, is because the weight, the handling of that weight will become easier. So that's the first thing I would say. Now, obviously, the program is a piece of equipment that you can use, and it's called Recovery. We're actually going to do a whole section on recovery. That's the next thing that we want to do. But you're always wanting recovery. That's why you come to this site. And so we look at this machine called Recovery, which isn't working very well. And so some of this program is like making sure the power source is on, making sure the wires haven't been cut, making sure that you've got all the right parts. You might need to get another part. So that is looking at the equipment, if you like, the resources, the functionality of you working with your drinker towards change. And that program gives you lots of kind of practical things to do. It says, are you doing this? Don't. Are you doing this? If you're not, you should. And so that is getting this equipment up and running of recovery. And that's the second thing that this program is aiming to do. The third thing, and that of course is changes and empowers you. That's the empowerment part of the program, that empowers you towards recovery. The third image that I want to use is when we're living with a problem drinker, it is like being on a pathway through really, really tough terrain. You know, some of the obstacles we feel we can hardly get over. Sometimes we sit down, we feel we can't go on. Now, just imagine that, but then being joined by other people. Now, if you're joined by other people and they're alongside you, you can begin to talk to them. Actually, you're aware that you're not this lone walker going through this really tough terrain, but there's a group of you doing it now. maybe you help each other up over obstacles, and you get to a bit that you can't cope with, and somebody else gives you a hand and helps you over that obstacle. Now that is happening in the forum. That's the kind of beginning to talk to each other, and never underestimate the power of you just responding to someone posting in the forum. It is the equivalent either of, I need a bit of a hand here, or can somebody tell me where to put my foot here, or I'm sitting down, I don't know how to go on. And so we are in this together, and me and John are leading the group, as it were, because we want this to be community. But for that, we need you to kind of reach out and speak to each other. So that is the journey on this path together. Now again, the path doesn't necessarily change when these people join you. However, we can say that though we cannot guarantee that your drinker will change, we can guarantee that if you begin to put some of these things in place, then changes will occur. There was a very interesting post on the forum very recently about someone applying the program and helped a bit, and then it seemed to get worse and worse, and they just thought it would never end. Suddenly, there was quite a radical change. Now, that did not surprise us, because we know that when we teach you to do certain things, whether you see it or not, to start off with, something different is happening in the dynamics there. And don't forget, we understand this completely if we're doing gardening. If you put a seed in the ground, you won't see it for a while. You need to water it, you need to take care of it, it will come up. And much of what you're putting in this program to begin with is you're putting seeds in the ground of recovery. And I think this, go back and read it in the forum. It was a great post. And it was just really about that, and I thought, I put the seed in and it was all right for a while, and then I thought nothing would grow. Wow, look at this. And that was a lovely testimony. Thank you for posting it. But that didn't surprise us, because that has happened over and over again. So you change your steps, you do different things, you look at the equipment of recovery and make sure you've got it working properly. You get strength for yourself so that you can handle the weight, and you get some companions along the way, so that you're not alone in your journey, and it will bring change and help. Now, if we had the magic flipping pixie dust to change your situation, I would sprinkle it for you. I'd be a trillionaire, but believe you me, I wouldn't do it to get the money. I'd do it because I understand the pain and anguish that you and your relationship and your family go through. And if I could, I happen to be a Christian, and I really understand redemption. This bit in you are thinking, if I could take this. Sometimes when my children hurt, I just think, I'd rather do this myself. So I really get this whole thing about wanting to bring change, and I wish I could just do something and bring change, but change happened to me, change happened to John, and he's going to talk to your drinker and help get across. Just talk about Beauty for Ashes as well. This is a completely non-religious, completely secular site. We've never lied about who we are, because we turn up as us, but I have to say that particularly in the loneliness, beginning to be aware that another capital A was there and loved me, also loved my drink and my children, it did make a huge difference to me. So we have this website called Beauty for Ashes, where we then talk about our faith, and spiritual awakening has long been a part, certainly in the 12-step program, understanding the impact of spiritual awakening and spirituality in this whole journey of addiction has been long established, and many people will come and tell you that it's a very, very important dynamic. So that's why recently we did Beauty for Ashes. We would not dream of imposing anything on you that you don't want, and if you say no, then just be who you are in this place. But if you do want more and you're over to it, then go along and check it out, because we have a lot to share in that area as well. But our philosophy is you matter. We accept you where you are, and we don't expect you to change for us, but we want you to change for you. So just want to send my love today. John's out doing this resource for you. Again, get on the forum. Thank you so much for donating. The chain of care literally is you, if you're being helped, just giving a bit more money so that somebody else like you 6 months down the road can come. It all goes back into the website. You know, we don't take a penny out of this. We've invested a lot of money in it, actually. So what you give will help somebody like you go through the help that you're getting. So, you know, if you're not getting help, don't donate. But if you are, make it possible for someone else to get that help too, because they are in the same situation as you. So I'm going to go now. Thank you for listening. Very, very much love. Bye-bye.